Okay, that brings us back, I believe, to our standards discussion. And we have additional matters to discuss. We had planned for those to have another 2 hours after executive with a hard stop at 8. The question before us now is whether we turn back to it now and wrap up or come back another date. I'm going to turn back to Vice Chair Hart for that discussion, but we need to figure that out, and we're not done. We still have business to do. So the question is how and
Okay,
when.
so that's going to come from the body. It's not going to come from the chair. So someone make a motion about what you would like to do, and then we'll talk about it and take a vote. Now, the options to me seem to be that we either extend the hard stop and come up with a plan B if we hit it. We just continue and not have a hard stop, or we make a plan for 8 o'clock, which is in 2 minutes, which means we'd have to have another meeting. So someone come up with a motion, and I will call on Christina. Member Bogus, do you have a motion for how we are going to conduct business?
Yes.
You're recognized.
Thank you very much at this late hour. I move that we postpone the standards to a session to be decided upon by board leadership.
Okay, do we have a second? Okay. Anyone want to speak to that motion, or would you like to go to a vote? Speaking to the motion, Member Klein?
No.
Not speaking to the motion? Okay. Member Chair Moss?
Nope, sorry.
Okay. Nobody speaking to the motion? The motion is that we postpone Member Bogus, will you restate your motion?
My motion is to postpone the ELA standards to a determination by board leadership.
Okay.
Whether that be a special meeting, whether that be next month, I would leave that to leadership's discretion.
Okay.
But I move that we postpone.
Okay. So the motion is basically to honor the 8 o'clock hard stop.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think a motion to postpone is debatable. Am I
Well,
right?
we're just kind of getting consensus in some sort of orderly fashion. We're just spitballing right now, it's not.
I have a question.
Okay,
Yeah.
question?
The question is if there's any implications, and this is something Dr. Thronson can speak to, I guess, or
Okay.
is there any implications if we have a special meeting later, at a later time?
Yes. So our LEAs have been on hold for adopting new curriculum to align with the science of reading and align with the standards. As standards are how you select curriculum, as well as the assessment. The longer it takes for standards to get through, the less likely we'll be ready to update the assessment to align with the standards as quickly. So those are the two that come to mind first.
Okay, we can either go to vote, we can have a substitute, or, okay, if seeing no, I'm sorry, Chair Moss.
Just a very quick follow-up. What are we looking at time-wise? If the body senses they want to not do this tonight, how quickly would it need to be done to avoid negative repercussions? Well, we've got a pretty full day tomorrow, but let me just ask, that could be a body, folks are free to bring other motions. I just want to clarify, what are we looking at on it?
Yeah, the sooner the better. As soon as the standards are done, Darren's team can start the work on the assessment, and our LEAs can adopt their curriculum. So some of them are holding their RFPs until the standards pass. Some aren't entering into RFPs until these pass because they want the finished standards. So it's just holding up our LEAs for their implementation.
I'd like to add to that, our LEAs often have a hard stop on their budget, their fiscal year. And so if they have put money for, non-lapsing money for curriculum, we could really be messing them up. I'm just like to make that point.
Motion to adjourn.
I've had my hand up.
Some of us are waiting.
Yeah, but
Well, the motion to adjourn is not.
is not debatable, but I didn't recognize her, she just kind of said it.
Yeah,
And,
some of us had our lights up prior.
Oh, you can't interrupt with them, can't interrupt with the motion to adjourn. I'm sorry, Member Straight. Please, you're being recognized.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. So I'll support the motion.
We can hear you, but just barely. Can you speak up just a little?
Okay, I'll get right on the microphone. Is that better?
Yes, that is.
Okay. So my motion would be that we take a vote.
Sorry, point of order.
Hold on. Yeah, Member Straight, we need to, are you making a substitute, are you making an amendment?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm making
there's
an
an amendment. We have a motion on the table. An amendment would be in
So,
order.
Maybe it's not a point of order. They can hear you. I'm getting messages
Oh,
that they can
okay.
hear you
Thank you.
speak.
That is a point of order.
Yes.
Your mic is on.
trying to plan.
So I don't
Thank
know
you.
what a point of whatever that is.
It is a
but
point of order.
You can be heard.
Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead, Member Straight. What's your amendment?
The amendment is that we vote to adopt the standards, the ones that haven't been adopted yet, because I know we have adopted a few. And if that fails, then we go to our next meeting.
Okay, the amendment on the table. Do we have a second for, there's a second. The amendment on the table, before you speak to it, I want to make sure, just because I think I heard it, Member Straight, the motion on the table, or the amendment is that we take a vote on the remaining standards that have not yet been approved. If that vote fails, we postpone to another meeting. A.G. Quisenberry, can that motion be compound like that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, that motion's been made and seconded. Member Straight, did you want to speak to your motion?
Yes. You know, I think all of us here spent hours upon hours going through the over 300 amendments, and there were additional that were brought forth today. My general consensus of the whole package was that most of them I disagreed with. And, you know, people have brought up, well, they're experts. Well, I've heard from all kinds of different people, and what my thoughts were is they like the standards to be adopted as they came out of standards and assessment on the 28th.
Thank you.
And I spent the time. I think all of us have spent the time. I appreciate the efforts of everyone, but I think it's time to adopt the standards and move on.
Point of order.
Okay, yes.
He's calling previous question.
Oh, did he call previous question?
That's the effect of what's happening right
Well, he made a motion that we vote on the standards. I see what you're saying.
He didn't call the question. He's just speaking
We-
to his motion.
We only did a motion, yes.
motion he presented has not been on the floor yet.
Yeah, that's a new motion. Well, he amended, well, what he did was, okay, that is a substitute amendment. No, it's a substitute, it's absolutely new. We haven't had that amendment before.
The one Randy started the meeting with.
No, because he's combined that one and the other one, because if they don't, he's added that piece about we're going to postpone. So he's actually in effect combining two, which would be more than two lines, which would mean a substitute. It is a substitute motion because it's more than just an amendment. Yes. Right, motion to substitute. It's yes. So we have a second on that. He's spoken to the motion. Does anyone want to speak to that? Vice Chair Earl? Okay, Member Davis, speaking to that?
Yeah, the biggest thing that I've heard from teachers is that they are anxious to plan their summer trainings prepare summer trainings to teach teachers about these new standards and how to implement them. So I do think there is a time element involved here. I spent all Tuesday afternoon studying these amendments. I have my list of the ones that I can vote yes for and the ones that I can vote no for. And I'm prepared to do that. But I'm also just fine passing the standards through right now because I think it's a good product. And I think we've heard from a lot of teachers, and I think it's good. So I'm okay with that too. And I'd speak to the motion.
Okay. Member Bogus, your light is on. Member Klein, your light is on.
So a motion to postpone is a singular motion. You can't combine it with another. So he's making two motions in one.
It's not, he's not, yeah, it's
If it,
to have
he
an,
says if it fails, it postpones.
so, hold on, I'm asking.
Yes.
Is, Member Straight, was your motion to postpone? Or was, because postponement in Robert's rules is different than setting another meeting.
He said move to another meeting. That's different.
So if it passes, we have our standards. If it doesn't, we're right back. where
Then
we
you
were
have to have
with
another
Board
meeting.
Member Augustin's.
But you're not postponing, you're not postpone,
But move to another meeting.
I- Okay, well, what we could do
you're
is
doing,
we could have-
so,
Like a condition.
Member Straight, what you're wanting to do is vote on the standards that have not been
I think that would be.
approved.
That is the main thing. We can drop the rest of it.
Okay.
Because that's where
If
we're at
that's the
anyway.
case, then that is, then AG Quisenberry?
No, I didn't have any comment on that, so please continue. I didn't mean to
Okay.
interrupt you.
So hold on. So the motion on the table is what, Member Straight?
So the substitute motion is to vote to adopt the remaining standards K through 12 as presented by the Standards and Assessment Committee, period.
Okay, thank you.
Because the
Erase-
rest is superfluous because that's where we're at. If it
Okay.
fails anyway.
Okay. Do you have, erase that? We've got the motion. Does your second still stand? Yes. Okay. AG Quisenberry, is that a motion is that a previous question or because of Member Booth's underlying motion?
Yeah, so Member Booth had the underlying motion, and then wasn't there a motion just a few minutes ago that we started off with a motion to postpone? Was that it? And then we have this amendment to that motion to postpone? I thought that was, otherwise what is he amending?
Yes, Member Bogus made the amendment first thing to
Postpone.
move to yes.
Okay, so I think that would be appropriate if that's what you're asking me.
I'm asking if we do an amendment, or do we do a previous question?
Well, previous question, isn't that to end debate, a call to question? That's not call to question, you're saying a previous question.
I'm not saying it right.
Yeah, I think you go with the
Can I-
amendment.
It's, well, I think Director Thronson is explaining the problem. Oh, then it goes to Bogus.
So it's not the same thing. His motion would be different than Member Booth's motion.
Okay, it is? All right, then we're voting on Member Straight's, it's different, so we're voting on his amendment, which is
I think I,
to adopt the remaining standards as presented by the Standards and Assessment Committee. That's what we're voting on at hand. Vice Chair Earl?
I thought I had mine on.
Oh, I'm sorry, Member Reel. Speaking to the motion.
Yes, I'd like to call to question.
Oh, okay, now we have a call to question.
That's previous question.
Do we need a second or not? Need a
We
second on
haven't-
previous,
We haven't had opportunity to speak to the main motion. And this is essentially doing that
Yeah,
very
we
thing.
did. But do you have but she has now called, and we now have to deal with that, which end debate.
That's bylaws.
All of
That's
you-
an attempt to end debate. That's against our board bylaws.
No, people spoke, and she is next in line, and she gets to make whatever motion she makes. She gets to do that.
As long as we. You have to call the previous question if you want to end debate, which requires a two-thirds vote.
She is calling, what did you just say?
I called the question.
You call the question.
Previous question.
The previous question, so that ends debate.
The previous question means we have to have a two-thirds vote.
Yes, we're voting.
But just,
Yeah.
can I?
Go ahead.
Just to clarify, this is to end debate on this motion.
On the motion right
Member
here.
Straight's motion. Member Booth's original motion was to pass out everything.
Right.
That was divided, and part of that underlying motion was already addressed and passed. So the
Right.
underlying motion sort of disappeared. There is no underlying
That is
motion to pass
correct.
everything because it's been divided and addressed. So we are not calling the previous question on Member Booth's
No,
motion.
we are-
We're calling the previous question on Member
On
Straight's
the
motion.
straight, that's why they're
That's,
putting it at the
right, that's what I'm trying to clarify is,
And it needs a
we,
two-thirds.
two-thirds vote for that.
That's correct.
The main motion being Member Straight's motion.
Straight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We need a second. Second from Lear. Do we have, let's go.
Okay, Bogus. No. Booth? Klein?
No.
Davis?
Yes.
Earl? Yes. Emily? No. Sorry, Green. Hart?
Yes.
Hymus?
Yes.
Carrie?
No.
Lear?
Yes.
Norton?
Yes.
Rill?
Yes.
Straight?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
And Moss?
Yes.
So, so that, the motion passes, so now we go back to the motion, and is there comment?
No, that was call the question. Now we to
We
vote.
called the question, that ends debate. There's no debate. So it's just debate
Oh.
on Member Straight's motion.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not debate, vote.
Vote on, so there's no,
Okay.
it ends debate. So the motion that before us is to adopt the remaining standards, K-12, as presented by the Standards and Assessment Committee.
Okay, Moss?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Straight?
Yes.
Rill?
Yes.
Norton?
Yes.
Lear?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Hymus?
Yes.
Hart?
Yes.
Green?
No.
Earl is a yes. Davis?
Yes.
Klein?
No.
Booth?
Yes.
Bogus?
No.
Okay.
That motion passes 12 in favor. Do we have any remaining? Okay. While there's some discussion, I would like to say thank you very much, taking prerogative. Thank you very much to the writing committee. I don't know if they're out there. If they are, their endurance is also much appreciated. Thank you to the team. Please pass along they are a team of experts. I've seen the list. They are experts. They are professionals, and we do appreciate their service. We have some hanging chads. So, can you explain, please?
Thank you, Chair. So the member straight substitute motion specifies K-12 as the remaining standards, but I believe that we never formally approved P3. We approved the intro, we approved P4, and now we've approved K through 12. So I think there may be a motion in order to either approve P3 or not.
Okay. Member Klein?
Move to adjourn.
Okay.
Okay.
We are going to vote on moving to adjourn. Non-debatable, takes a majority.
Vargas?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, we need a second.
Second.
Second?
Vargas?
Yes.
Booth? Klein?
Yes.
Davis?
No.
Earl is a yes. Maybe. Green?
We're, okay.
Okay. Hart?
No, what are we doing?
Moving to adjourn. I think I missed.
No.
Hymus?
No.
Carrie?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I'm just going to read. Lear?
No.
Norton?
No.
Rill?
No.
Straight?
No.
Wood?
No.
Moss?
No.
I don't know the count.
That motion fails with 10 no votes. Member Davis?
I move that we pass the P3 language arts standards as they came out of the Standards and Assessment Committee.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would you like to speak to your motion?
No, thank you.
Point of order.
I'm sorry, did you want to speak to your motion?
No,
Wait.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. Point of order has been called. Member Green.
Did we amend the P3? So does that conflict?
We,
No, if you're
nothing
approving-
passed out of the,
That's right.
out of the P3. Nothing,
Okay.
nothing passed.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I don't remember what you were asking. Okay, so the motion has been made, seconded. Anyone would like to speak to the motion? Member Reel,
Call the question.
is there no, well, Member Klein, your light's on? There are no other, I guess we have to, it belongs to the body.
Did it get seconded?
Did it get you don't second,
It got seconded.
there's no,
The question. Okay.
right, but, okay, so now we have to vote on that. We're voting on calling the question, but there wasn't anybody else in line. Voting on calling the question, so.
Ready?
Ready.
Okay, Wood?
Yes.
Straight?
Yes.
Rill?
Yes.
Norton?
Yes.
Lear? Yes. Carrie?
No.
Hymus?
Yes.
Hart?
Yes.
Green? No. Earl is yes. Davis?
Yes.
Klein? Booth?
Yes.
Bogus? No. And Moss?
Yes.
That passes with 12 yes votes. We are now voting.
Okay, Bogus? No. Booth?
Yes.
Klein? No. Davis?
Yes.
Earl is yes. Green? No. Hart?
Yes.
Hymus?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Lear?
Yes.
Norton?
Yes.
Rill?
Yes.
Straight?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
And Moss?
Yes.
That was,
That carries with 12 yeses. Looking for a motion?
Final comment before the final motion. Tomorrow we'll start our discussion. Can I do this? Mm-hmm. We'll start our discussion of the strategic plan. If you look in the backup, there's a big question. What's your vision for education over the next 5 years? There's a couple smaller questions that we're going to ask. What are we doing great and where could we improve? That will lead into an assessment of kind of where we are, the strategic plan we have, and then starting May or June, we'll start to take action on the mission, vision, and the strategic plan. So if you have any brain cells left tonight, I encourage you to give some thought to those questions. We've set aside some time to just have a little bit of a, what's your vision discussion before we get into the specifics. So we will keep that tight. We'll keep it time focused, but we do want to just give each member some time to tell us, where do you see us in 5 years? And then we'll get into how we get there. So
Point of order.
where did I go wrong on that?
I'm not sure who said that. Member
did.
Bogus?
We skipped over agenda item number 15.
I'll leave that to you.